Hi guys, this is Carrie from The Creative Accent. This video explains how to edit the navigation on a one-page website template inside of Showit. So let's get to it. This is Ellie Jane. It's a bold, playful website template for Showit, and it's actually a one-page site, and this video is going to talk about how the navigation is organized. You can see that it's flush to the left, and as I scroll, it will stick to the left and the links will highlight depending on the canvas that I'm currently positioned on. So I can also click to a link and then scroll up or down the page and navigate the site this way. And this is Gina Hill's, also a one-page website template for Showit that's currently available in my shop. But instead of the navigation being flushed to the left like it is in Ellie Jane, it's going to stick to the top. And as I scroll, the links will highlight accordingly. But of course, I can also just click and scroll up or down the site this way. Let's have a look inside Showit so you can see how this is built out and how you can make changes to it yourself. The navigation is on the header canvas, and this is going to be a site canvas. So I need to click in here to make any edits. You can see the mobile version on the left side, and here is the desktop version. Obviously, they're going to be a bit different. But the most important part of your navigation is the click actions. So you have these words, you have these links here on the left, and when the user clicks, what's going to happen? So if I select the text and I come over here to the click actions panel on the right, you can see that I can set the click action for this text. And it's set to go to a certain page, and I want that page to be the home page because this is a one-page site, so everything is going to stay on the home page. If you had multiple pages built out, you would just select the page that you want it to go to here. So for example, an about page, but for the one-page website, you want to keep everything going to the home page, but you want to set the canvas slug to the name of the canvas that it should scroll to. So in this case, it's going to scroll to the About canvas. Likewise for services, you have the services canvas. This one is actually named Free Resource. As much as possible, choose to keep the names the same so that you will make it easier on yourself. So here you can see how all of these are linked to scroll down to a certain canvas. Now, where do you find the canvas name? Let's just go back. Now we're on the home page, and here you see the About canvas. If I click on it, it will scroll to it automatically. So what's really important is that your canvas slug is the exact name of the canvas that you want it to scroll to. So for example, this is the resources one, and I actually named it Free Resource. So you would just need, if you have a space in there, if you have two words, let me go back so you can get another look. If you have two words for one of these canvases, then you just need to put a dash in between each word. Now I want to take just a minute to talk about that special hover feature. So that feature when you scroll down the page, and let's just pop back over here. So as you're scrolling, if you're looking here to the left, as you're scrolling, the canvas is highlighted depending on where you are on the site. That is achieved by using different canvas views. So there are a few elements here, and I just want to talk about it briefly, but you'll see you have these different views over here. And some things are outside of the view, meaning they're always going to show, and that's going to be your social media icons, scroll to the top, and then your logo. But these views are going to show the different links. So this is the default view where nothing is highlighted when they first land on the page. And then the second view is going to highlight the About and the services. Basically, for every canvas that you want to highlight, you're going to have a different view. And what I've done inside those views, what's important first of all is to set view 1 properly with all of your click actions. So the thing we talked about just a minute ago, you want to make sure all of your click actions are set properly and that they have the hover that you want. So this is set to the page default, but you could change this to to hover in different colors if you want. You can set that over here under hover. And once you have view 1 set exactly how you want it to be, then you want to start duplicating. I'm going to show you how this is achieved, but first I'm going to show you how to make some changes. So let's say you just get this template and you want to make some changes. What you want to do is delete all of these additional views because you want view 1 to be set properly before you start creating different canvas views. So let's say you want to change things around. Let's say you want your testimonials to be higher. You're going to move that canvas up. You're going to move that canvas up, and you want your resources to come down here. Now I'm just going to click and hold the shift key, and then I'm going to come over here to distribute them all evenly, and then I'm going to center it. Now I'm going to go back to my main page here. Now we want services and then testimonials. So let's go find that client love tab here, and then we can just click and drag, and let's see where we're going to bring it. These are all for the services. Call to action, so we're going to bring it just under this call to action button so that you'll have all of your services, and then you'll come to the testimonials. And then we wanted to move our resources. Let me just go back and see our resources to under the portfolio. So actually this template has an alternative for your free resources. So this one is really intended if you have only one or like one main resource that you want to promote, but there is an alternative view. Let me just show you that one, which is the 3 resources. So maybe you have, different things that you want to send them to. So maybe you have a guide, maybe you want to send them to your podcast. I'm just going to zoom out a bit so you can see. Or you have another freebie, and you can list them all here. So let's say you want to use the 3 resources instead of the free resource. Now, I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to make it invisible for the time being. And I want to move that down under the portfolio. Okay, so I've moved my canvases around. But what's important to note is that I changed the resource tab. So if you would change a name over here, so for example this one is 3 resources instead of free resource, if you would change that name, you need to make sure to change it in the navigation, otherwise the link is going to be broken. So I'm going to come to resources, I'm going to go back to click actions, and the free resource is now hidden. So that's not the one I want. I want to change the canvas slug to 3 resources so that it's linked properly. Now in theory, I don't need to build out different views. If I want to just keep things simple, I can just use this as is. So let's just have a little preview of the changes that we've made. Okay, so I don't have the hover feature going on. So as I scroll, you can see that the links are not going to highlight. But let's just test out our changes. We moved up our testimonials, so you can see those there. And we moved down the resources and changed the link so that it's linking to a separate canvas. So you can see that that's working fine. So if you want to keep things simple, you can just keep one view, and then you don't have to worry about like making changes to multiple views. But if you do want that hover feature, like you see here, if you do want that hover feature, I'm going to show you how to do that next. So as I mentioned, view 1 is going to be your default view when someone just lands on your page. And what we want to do is duplicate that one for each of the links that you have here. So I just click on the 3 dots and I go to duplicate. It's going to duplicate that view. And now I want to highlight my first point, which is the about. Now I'm using a test template here, so I don't have all the branded settings in, but I just put this in manually. I want this to show orange. Obviously, when you have all of your branding set, you can choose your colors here, or you can, like I just did, put in a hex code there. So I don't really need to make any other changes there, except I want to be sure that I highlight the first one, and then I'm just going to duplicate again, and now I'm going to, take this back to the original color that it was, and highlight the next one, and so on and so forth. And I want to keep doing that for as many links as I have that I want to highlight as they scroll the page. So now I'll add the next one in like so. So again, as a reminder, before you start to duplicate the views, make sure that you have all of your click actions set properly here before you start to duplicate, so you don't have to go back and like do that inside of each view, and then you can just duplicate and then change the color. Now, creating the multiple views in your navigation is just the first step. There's actually a very important second step to getting that highlighted effect. So let's go back to the main page. And for each canvas that you want your link to scroll to, you're going to want to set up a scroll action. So I have these already set up inside of the template, but if you're doing this from scratch, this is what you're going to see. So you can add an action. So when this canvas is on screen, you want it to show a canvas. Let me make sure I do this right. No, you want it to change the canvas view, excuse me. So when it's on screen, you want it to change the canvas view of the header canvas. And now instead of view 1, which is your default view, you want it to be set to view 2. So if you had made changes and, for example, moving up our testimonials, this will now be, it was set to view 6. Let me just count here. No, 1 is default, 2, 3, it will now be 4. So you would want to change this to, when it's on screen, change the canvas view of the header to view 4. So that is the second element to making sure that that highlighted effect works properly. And one important note that I should mention about this navigation being flush left is to uncheck the scroll links under. I found that when I was setting this up, when this was checked, it wouldn't scroll to the appropriate canvas. So if you have your navigation flush to the left or the right, make sure you uncheck this. Now, I didn't notice this being any problem on the other template, Gina Hills, because the navigation was on the top, and this one was checked and there was no problem. But if you're flushing your navigation to the left or the right, I recommend unchecking that box. I want to talk about one last important point, which is the mobile navigation. Now, this one is much simpler, in fact, and it's just one icon, and it's not set to a particular type of link, but rather it's set to show the mobile navigation canvas, which is also a site canvas. So let's have a look at that all the way at the bottom here. So this is the mobile navigation canvas, and obviously if you're going to make changes to the layout of your one-page site, you want those to reflect in the mobile navigation as well. So if I click on one of these links, you'll see that it's linked to the home page, it's linked to the hero canvas. And really important for all of the links in the mobile navigation is that it also has an action. This is different from the desktop version. The desktop version links will not have this, but the mobile navigation link should have this action to hide the canvas once you click on a link. So again, if you're going to make changes, make sure that those changes are also reflected here. So for example, that the canvas slug uses the correct name, so it's going to send your visitor to the right place. And of course, you can also link to, you can link to other landing pages here if you want to. You could add your social icons here and then just change, rather than going to a page, you could send them to a specific URL by just changing the link here.